Today I'm on a small clear creek that is home to some wary Dolly, Varden, and bull trout that are not large but known to take a dry fly. I'm going to be working these fish with a Caddis pattern on 7X, hoping to lure a few of them to the surface. I'll be using a variety of tactics to fool these fish, including slack leader presentations and delayed hook sets. The river receives hardly any fishing pressure due to its remote location and is not nutrient rich, but the shallow clear waters make the resident fish incredibly shy.
Cover this nice little pool with a dry fly first. Everywhere you can kind of reach on my position. I may have just seen a fish rise on that far side there. May have been mistaken, maybe just the way the ripples are. Close to where that dark little spot is with a big foam patch right across the way. Work a cast over there. Right there. But nothing. One more cast over it just to see. So get a little bit further up too. It was one. What do you know? Just took two drifts. Not a big fish, but a beauty. Nice little char. Water nicely there, whoop, and a quick release.
In this scenario, a curve cast with a slack leader was helpful to prevent drag. When presenting your fly, you want the surface water with a faster current, usually down the middle, to be where the top or upstream end of your fly line or leader lands so that when it gets caught in the faster water, it takes more time for the water to sweep your line downstream, passing your fly and dragging it along. You get a much longer drag-free drift. In this case, we have a slow water pocket on the far side, fast water down the middle, and my leader is going to be landing in the fast water, while my fly will be landing in the slow water, where I want it to sit as long as it can. And I do that by underpowering my forward sidearm cast, creating less turnover, and letting my cast curve to the right so that my fly lands in the slower water that is downstream of the rest of my leader. This also adds slack in my leader, which even better prevents the fast water from dragging my fly away. But let's move on to the next scenario.
I think before I wade around this pool here or go through the trees, I'm going to hit it right from the head here. See if I can, see if there's anything just sitting right in here. I'm fishing from an upstream position. That'll allow my fly to kind of cover this really nice water before I get into it or get too close to it. And there's one right there. Wow. Oh, another nice little char. The dry fly cleaned off a bit there. Yeah, let's see if I can get another one that's in here. Here we go. Not as big as the other one, but wow. Oh. Nice netting job. fly out of them. There we go. Beautiful little fish. There we go.
I approached this run from upstream, from a distance mind you, as it allowed me to not wade in the water from below in the low, clear water, actually giving me more of a stealthy approach. It also saved me from some serious bushwhacking. By presenting the dry fly from a far distance upstream, you can drift your fly down towards the fish with the fly getting there before the leader, minimizing the impact of drag. And by providing ample slack, quite a bit actually, to both help prevent the drag from forming and to reduce the resistance the fish finds when it goes to inhale your fly, this will let you get a much more solid hook set, especially if you give the fish time to grab and turn with your dry fly, as opposed to having too tight of a leader and the fish not being able to solidly grab your fly. If your leader is too tight with this type of presentation, when the trout attempts to grab your fly, your leader will effectively be holding the fly back and preventing the fish from grabbing it. You need to provide some slack so that when the fish inhales the dry fly, he can actually get it without having a tug of war with you to do so. A fish can't suck a fly down if it's being held back by too much resistance. After I caught those two char, I did use a camera underwater to see if I could spot them and their behavior. As you might expect, it was a very tight space with almost more rocks than water. And I couldn't find a fish at first, though I knew at least two of them were there. I continued scanning around and finally spotted perhaps one other fish. It scattered away so fast though that I really only got glimpses of it. But it dodged around the boulders with impressive agility, tucking into every crevice it could find to clearly avoid any danger. Not normally the behavior I see in small fish, especially those in pristine settings untouched by humans. Most come right at the camera. I suspect though that the low clear water makes them easy prey for any predators, and they have adapted to those surroundings by being extra cautious. This is a case of small fish not necessarily being big risk takers. Very interesting to see, but the other fish completely eluded my camera, so let's move on.
Oh, there he is. Nice. Just see him come up. Oh, I set the hook too fast on him. Should let it sit a bit longer. Different one maybe. There we go. Oh, beautiful little fish. On that first fish, I made the mistake of setting the hook too soon. I didn't let the fish take the fly and turn from it, which is what you got to do with a dry fly usually. You set a little bit too fast, you may just whip it right out of its mouth. Then sometimes that's the problem with fishing in really clearer water.
We tried to sneak a peek under the water in this pool after hitting those three fish. It's so clear and there was obviously more than one fish in the run, so I was excited to see some action. I scanned in that pool for 10 minutes, going up into the plunge, down to the tailload, and as close to every boulder as I could get. There was not a single fish to be seen, and I found that incredible. I am certain they did not leave the run, but instead, similar to the last fish we saw, were tucking into every tight spot they could find, and I just couldn't get in there with the camera to see them. This is an example of fish that may be small and in a remote area, but are so wary that once hooked, they are put down and go into heavy cover, being alerted to danger. I even went back 30 minutes later to search the run, but they were still hidden. These fish I suspect would take a very long time to reset before they forgot what had happened to them. Let's try and summarize what we saw today. These char, Dolly, Varden, and bull trout were and have been always incredibly shy and wary, something anglers don't often associate with these species. But in these conditions of crystal clear waters, even being in a remote area does not reduce their shyness. Once hooked, they darted into every tight corner they could find and responded to fishing pressure with supreme caution. Perhaps not what one would expect when approaching such a creek as this. Often it's small creek, eager fish, which isn't always true as you can see. Tackling them with a dry fly was fun and a challenge. A few techniques helped me. The first was using a curve cast and a generous amount of slack leader. Most anglers are taught that slacking your leader is bad, but when dry fly fishing, when you learn to understand slack, it can actually be your most important tool. It helps with your drag-free drift and also helps encourage you to have a delayed hook set, which is the second important factor from today. Again, the first reaction of most anglers is to strike fast when a fish hits, but sometimes, and oftentimes actually, that can be the wrong approach. A fish has to be given time to get the fly and hook into its mouth before you have a chance to hook that fish. There are certain times when a fast hook set is a good thing, but usually in dry fly fishing, it's not, as we mentioned earlier. The last tactic was fishing the dry fly downstream with a slack leader from far upstream. It created a stealthy presentation that fooled a few fish that I am sure would have been spooked otherwise if I had tried to do the traditional wade-in approach from downstream method. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did making it, and that you'll watch for further videos in the future. Thank you for watching.